caretaker is walking through a cemetery when he notices an old crypt with its door broken and hanging. He peers his head in when a gentleman steps forward out of the darkness. Unaware of the other gentleman, the caretaker then sits down on a stone slab in the center of the room and takes a flash of lightning to shake off the chill. The gentleman then begins to tell the story. "Good afternoon. I'm so glad you're here. I've been here for so long. Do I have a tale for you? I am not sure where to begin, but I recall in the enthusiasm of youth my penchant for beauty. Not just the beauty of all living things, but the beauty of the night, the darkness, the absence of light. Just as women in mourning wore all black, I clung to this aesthetic, but I wore it around my heart like a heavy cloak. It was engulfing my soul within a tattered shroud of melancholic bliss. While I mourned for no one, I did grieve for all living things and its inevitable end, especially mine. After several years, I began to grow weary of the futile existence of life and found myself longing for complete solitude, away from the chaos and drama of society. I would often spend hours wandering ancient graveyards and cemeteries. Ah, the blissful silence of death, how it so beckoned me like a lover's lustful glance. Oh, my apologies, I am boring you. Please forgive my ramblings. I shall get right to the point. On one melancholic afternoon, as I wandered through Highgate, I stumbled upon an old crypt. This very crypt, in fact. I had noticed that the gate was open, and there, in the middle of the floor, appeared to be what I thought was a viewing slab. As the light was very poor, I could not make out the finer details, but as I looked further in, I saw no caskets. Well, I assumed it was a sample tomb to show off the quality craftsmanship involved in creating such a monument for London's elite. I decided to take refuge within for a short rest before I continued on my forlorn journey. Satisfied that I would not be disturbed, I lay down on the slab and closed my eyes. The absolute silence was so joyful, I could feel a smile forming upon my face, a feeling that I had not felt in many a year. As I slipped into a transitional state of consciousness, my mind began to wander somewhat, and I thought that perhaps it wasn't a slab, but it was a sarcophagus, and there was a corpse lying directly beneath me. I wondered if it was upset that I intruded upon its peaceful rest. Then for a moment, I felt as if I was weightless as my body began to float above the slab. The elation that I was feeling soon ended as I was startled awake by the sound of a grinding stone. In fact, it was the sound of the stone door slowly closing. It ceased with a loud thud, and then my fate was sealed. It was at that moment that I realized that I had made a very grave mistake. The door was closed and I turned within. I couldn't tell if my eyes were open or closed. The darkness engulfed me. I struggled to find my bearings, but I was trapped in an opaque void. As I tried to find the door, I pounded, stomped, and screamed, but to no avail. Time had become frozen in this chamber of solitude. I suddenly yearned for contact, drama, life. After what seemed like minutes, days, months, perhaps even years, I don't know, I had completely lost all concept of time. I eventually resigned myself to my fate. I lied down and closed my eyes. But here you are, and I am so glad that you showed up today. I had felt that I would never leave this place. Oh, how I've actually longed for interaction. The caretaker, oblivious to what the gentleman had been saying, hears a noise, then spies something in the corner of the crypt and flees. The gentleman cries out, "Wait! Where are you going? What is it that frightens you?" The gentleman walks around the slab. Daylight shines upon what the caretaker saw. "Oh dear, it is I that frightens you. It appears that I shall never, ever leave."